Yeah, really good question, that, Adam. I did say that, and I do stand by it as well. I think the I think the it factor is a lot of different components. It's kind of that aura, and it's that feeling that you feel when you see someone, and it can be taught, and it can arrive like overnight, right? There's lots of factors. Obviously, the way you're presented is a big factor, right? For example, you can go back and look at Jay Uso when he was in the Usos and they were doing the face paint and the Uso crazy and coming out in like bright green shorts and whatever. I actually was watching a video, and it was on the WWE Vault channel, and it was the Giants DVD set, right? So there was a DVD set came out that was all about giants in the history of wrestling. Had like Haystacks Calhoun, Andre the Giant, Big John Studs. I've actually got the DVD set, but I've not watched it in years and years and years and years and years. But they put it up for free on YouTube. So I was doing some work the other day, and I just had it on in the background. And they were talking about Yokozuna. And you can tell how old this DVD set came out, because some of the people that are talking are the Usos. And it's around the time when they first came in and they were Uso crazy, right? And you can see that he is a little bit chubbier, right? No offense. He is. I'm sure he would say that himself. His hairstyle is not as cool as it is now with the fades and everything. He's a little thinner in the face now. He's that little bit older. He's got the yeet stuff. He's got that kind of Miami vibe to him now. You know, the color scheme of like white, baby blue, pink. It's kind of very light, fun. Kind of, I just get Miami vibes from it. I don't know why. I get like Vice City vibes in a way from it. But he's got like the whole yeet thing and all of that. You compare where Jey Uso is in 2025 to when he was one half of Uso Crazy. It's basically a different person. It's basically a different person. He's completely different in his presentation, with his catchphrase, with his attire, with his hairstyle. As I said, back then he was a little bit chubbier. Now he's a lot more thin in the face. And I just think that he looks, and with the crowd reaction, he's got that feeling, he's got that aura of having something, right? He feels like he's got something special. It's debatable as to whether he's got quite the X factor yet. I mean, I think he's there or thereabouts. But, you know, I think that this is where the booking comes in. If Jay was booked as someone that kept winning and was on a roll and maybe had a couple of world titles behind him already, I think we're there or thereabouts. I think he's got the X factor, right? I would say the only debate really is because he's had title matches and has fallen short. That means that at the moment there is just a question around, can he get the big one, right? And I'm sure he will eventually. But I would say that's just playing into the X Factor thing for Jey Uso. So can it be taught? Can it be learned? Yes, definitely. But some people just naturally have it. Brock Lesnar just naturally had it. Brock Lesnar, from even when he was at high school, had the X Factor straight away, because he was just a freak, wasn't he? He stood out. You could make the argument Obafemi just has it. You could make the argument that Trick Williams just has it, like the natural charisma, you know, and the entrance music massively helps, of course, but he's got that kind of fun personality. He's doing his rap stuff on the side. We've seen him do some fun little rap videos where he's done like some rap stuff on like some of his opponents and whatever. I think when he is wearing like the white trunks, the white kick pads, the white boots, like he looks a bit like, he's got a bit of like that Muhammad Ali vibe, you know? He just looks like $1 billion. A bit like Anthony Joshua, actually. Joshua boxes in white, and like, you know, there's pictures of Joshua when he's like shredded. He looks like a flipping sculpture, and he's wearing like white trunks and white boots, white gloves, and he just looks like flipping the king of the world. You know, a lot of it is to do with presentation. There's definitely elements that are to do with your charisma, your promos, your booking definitely plays a part. It's one thing to look amazing, but then if you keep losing all the time. But then saying that, there's plenty of people that have gone on losing streaks that people have had a warmth towards, you know? I was looking at Bron Breakker the other day. He's IC champion. He's not the tallest of guys. His height is okay. But when you stand him in there with a Gunther or a Randy Orton or something, I think he is just that touch below. Is he like 5'11", 6? Something like that. I mean, in WWE, you got people quite regular around that kind of 6'2", 6'3" mark, you know? So I wish he had a couple of inches more, to be honest. I wish he was a couple of inches taller. I wish, like, you know, on the video game where you can just move the slider a touch to make him just that little bit taller, that little bit more bulk, you know? I'd love to just move the slider just a little bit more. Whenever I see, I mean, I was looking at Randy. Randy was the same height as Triple H in the Rumble in 2009. I don't think Randy had won a title at that point, but Randy was looking chiseled. He was the same height as Triple H. He was obviously a very attractive guy. And, you know, he was standing there. He was tanned. I mean, he looked every inch like he just belonged, like he was, you know, a multiple-time world champion. I mean, he looked every inch like he belonged in that ring with Triple H in 2009. And I was just looking at him, I was like, you can just see, it's just oozing off of him. It seeps out of his pores. Just everything about him is just saying, watch me. I'm the guy. I'm the guy. And it was just seeping out of him. And I don't really feel that with Bron Breakker, actually. I think with Bron Breakker, he is someone that they've pushed really hard down in NXT. He got himself to the top. Because of him being a Steiner, he's been spoke about a lot as being, he's going to be the guy, he's going to be the face of the company. I don't know that he's going to be the face of the company. I mean, I see him as being a bit Goldberg-ish. I see him being a bit... I don't know. I see him being a little bit kind of Batista-ish. I see him being a little bit kind of not quite the face, but the person that's going to be around. He's going to be around. He's going to have multiple world titles, yeah? But is he going to be the guy that's going to carry the ball and take it forwards and be the guy? I don't think he's going to be the guy. I don't think he's going to be the guy. I wish he was that little bit taller. I wish he was a bit more tanned. I wish his... I don't know. I watch his matches and his matches are okay. I don't get that feeling when he comes out of, here we go. Here we go. I mean, I'm getting that with Jacob. Do you get the same feeling from Bron Breakker as when you see Jacob Fatu? Because I don't. And I'd say that's the difference at the moment, is Jacob feels like he's got that X factor. Jacob feels like, here we go. You know, he's doing the shake thing. You know, he's stepping up to Braun Strowman. Like, he's just, you know, his promo backstage where he's talking about being King Kong and Godzilla rolled into one. You're like, oh my God. His promos are amazing. His looks are amazing. Everything about him is wrestling. Like, he's a wrecking ball. Some of the spots they've had him come down and do. Do you remember when... Didn't he come down and, like, murk 3 tag teams? He came down during a tag match and just murked everyone. And he was just in the ring like, and it was like that. I mean, he is him. He is it. I can't fault him. I wasn't too keen on his ring gear, actually. I wasn't crazy about what he wore at Saturday night's main event. And I think that match could have been stronger as well. I've got the scores in front of me from that match. You lot said it was great 56%. So it was a great match, but it was not as good as Braun Sheamus, which was great 61. Braun Jacob was great 56. I'd say, actually, all things considered, it underwhelmed a touch. So I would say it's his first match, or at least I think it's his first singles match. I can sort of forgive it. It's fine. I'm not going to judge him too harshly on it, right? What he did after was brutal. Yeah, I mean, what he was doing after looked sick. So, I mean, that was all great. But the match itself probably could have been a little better. I think his ring gear, I think I would change. For someone so deadly, it feels quite colourful. I don't know that I would necessarily have had so much red. But I think I would have had a lot more black with red kind of punctured throughout it. I would have done something different. But either way, I feel a lot different about Jacob than I do about Braun. But that is not to say that Braun can't get there. It just more so is where's Braun in comparison to Jacob in the ladder of, you know, who's going to get there first kind of a thing. I feel like Jacob feels a bit further up that ladder to me than Braun. Braun feels like he is going to have a really good IC title run, and then maybe he'll be in the mix for the world title. Whereas with Jacob, I actually don't know if he even needs a mid-card title run. I actually don't know if he doesn't go, like, if he gets the better of Braun, takes down Big Bronson Reed and, you know, murks a few people. Do we need him to become United States champ? Do we need him to become IC champ? Like, does he need that step? X Factor wise, he feels a little further along to me. Like, he feels like he could go up against Roman and win. I don't know about Braun. I think he could go up against Roman and lose, but I don't know that he would go up against Roman and win. But I feel like Jacob could go up against Roman and win. So, Braun, I would say, it's just a bit of work that's needed, really. It's not that he won't get there. It's not that he can't get there. It's not that he doesn't have it. It's just that we just need to keep building. It's just building. So, you know, you don't have to be born with it. Definitely not. Definitely not. You don't have to be born with it. Because if you look at Becky, when she first came in, she was doing like some Irish jig in NXT. She was doing some river dance stuff, right? Fast forward many, many years. She's flipping, standing there with a broken nose, blood coming down her face. She's the man. You know, she got about as big as any woman ever has in the history of WWE. And that was a journey to that. And we're just on a journey. Jacob's journey has gone through MLW, where he's really learnt his crafts. And this is a craft. This is an art form. There are lots of pieces that have to be put together to create and level up like the perfect wrestler. Everyone can improve their promos. Everyone can improve their in-ring. Everyone can improve their charisma, their aura. Everyone can improve their connection with the fans. Everyone can improve their entrance, their signature poses. Everyone can improve their moveset. Like, there's so many. Everyone can improve their selling, their storytelling. I mean, God only knows how many different aspects there are, how many different attributes there are, strength. You know, I mean, there's some things you can't with size. You can't do much about your size. But there's so many different aspects that can be leveled up. It's a never-ending constant journey to really become the best version that you can become. I think Jacob is really hitting some high numbers on his attributes. I think that Braun is on his way to that. But for me, it's just not quite there yet. So that is a pretty long answer, but hopefully one that was I don't want to say insightful, because it's not. It's all stuff everyone knows, but hopefully it was one that was maybe a bit thought-provoking.